Welcome back and welcome to the sixth episode of the Sports King.Pod. And today we are celebrating Halloween. I'm your host, as always, Dominic, joined again up top by the Price brothers, Daniel and Anthony. Guys, happy Halloween. And guess what? We're off with a bang. The World Series, Game 6, it finishes. And guess what? The Los Angeles Dodgers are finally World Series champions. They end their very long drought, their first World Series title since 1988. Guys, let's get some thoughts on the games. What did you think?
Just to clarify before we get into it, Dom, didn't we say Dodgers in 6?
We did. Me and you both said Dodgers in 6. It's almost like, I envisioned it. We kind of like summoned it. We spoke it into existence.
Yeah, Clayton Kershaw needed us to win the World Series. Finally.
You're welcome, Clayton. Send that check in the mail, why don't you?
Yeah. Anthony, I'm sure you got a lot to say about the game, so you can get right into it.
Well, first, congrats to LA Dodgers. Congrats to Kershaw. But Blake Snell, why would you pull him out? Just why? I was watching that game. Why would you pull him out? He gave up he had 2 hits in the game. He was going into the 6th inning with 1 hit and 9 strikeouts. First batter popped up, which was a 70th pitch, 1 out, and then he gets next batter gets a hit, and then he's facing the top of the order, which was all 0 for 2, 0 for 3 that game, and struggled against Snell in the game 2 that he pitched. Especially Mookie Betts is one of the worst worst batters facing left-handed pitcher. He batted .218 this season. Why would you pull him out? And then you put Anderson in, who every postseason chance he got put in, he gave up a run. It doesn't make sense. It was very bad mannered during, and just I can't believe what I saw. I was screaming at the TV. I went to the other room. I was like, Dad, what would you do in this situation? Your ace is on the mound throwing a gem. He gives up another hit, and you're up 1-0. Do you pull him out or go to your bullpen? You don't pull him out. It's not like he's going to pitch if the Rays did win. He's going to pitch Game 7 because it's the next day. You have to use them all. He was pitching the game of his life right there. Like how I said on the last podcast, he has to be better than ever. He has to execute his pitches. Well, he did, and he was doing it. But, I'm the Rays GM. I'm asking the coach why he did that. I don't care about analytics and stuff like that. That's not what baseball is. That's what too many coaches rely on in today's day, today's world. And so just congrats, Dodgers. Just don't take him out. That was stupid. That's a whole different game. If they don't take Blake Snell out, it's Game 7. I guarantee it.
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of a baffling decision. I don't know why, as Andy just said, it's not like he would have pitched in Game 7. You're not saving him for anything. He was only at 70 pitches. It's not like, his arm was about to fall off. So definitely kind of baffling. But, as soon as he was taken out, the Dodgers pounced on the opportunity and they were able to secure the World Series title.
Yeah, you guys hit the nail right on the head. Taking Blake Snell out of the game after 5 1/3 pitch and only giving up 2 hits, not a good move at all. But we need to also remember the small whimper of offense that the Rays put up. Randy Arozarena hit a home run in the first inning, and that was all they could do. So credit to the Dodgers pitching as well. Tony Gonsolin, he gave up that run, and then everyone else out of the bullpen pitched amazingly, especially Julio Urias, who came in for 2 1/3 to close the game out. He ends up getting the save. So they went with a bullpen game. They didn't have Buehler on the mound. They didn't have Kershaw on the mound, who would have came out probably in a Game 7 had there been one. But the bullpen pitched great. They pretty much secured the game. Again, the Dodgers also only put up 3 runs. So it wasn't an offensive duel like we saw in Game 4. But credit to both sides. The pitching was very good. But again, the Rays, while we sit here and we can blame Kevin Cash all day for taking out Blake Snell after 5 1/3, putting up 1 run in a World Series game is not good enough. And, I find it hard to even if Snell stayed in the game for a little bit longer, say he finished the 6th inning or he went in and finished the 7th inning, you're not winning that game 1-0, not against the Dodgers, because they were going to score runs regardless of when Snell came out. So, again, like I just said, blame the game on Cash and him taking out Snell all you want. Scoring 1 run in a, eliminating game in the World Series is just not good enough. And that needs to be improved upon if the Rays want to be back next season, because that was where they really struggled. It was no one's surprise. Their offense was nowhere near as good as the Dodgers' offense was. So they need to improve on that a lot. But, where they're at pitching, Anthony said it. He pitched, the best game of his season, not only the season, but of his career, honestly. He pitched incredibly well. If you looked at all of his pitches, he was executing them. No one was getting on base. He had so many strikeouts. I think he had 9 strikeouts when he got pulled. So, incredible game by Snell. You can't blame him. You most definitely cannot blame him. So, here's something interesting that we'll dive into. Midway through the game, I want to say it was either the 5th or 6th inning. Justin Turner gets pulled from the game, and nobody knows why. And I was watching the game, and Joe Buck and Smoltz, their immediate reaction was, "Oh yeah, this must be one of Dave Roberts' move. He wants to get the hitter up. He likes the matchup a little bit better." Because Turner had been having a pretty good World Series so far. He'd been doing very good defensively, and he's also been providing some nice offense for them as well. We all know Dodgers go on, they win the game. And then after the game, literally seconds after the game, before the trophy presentation happens, they cut back to the Fox News desk and they say, Dodgers have won the World Series, but real quick, we got to break some news to you. Justin Turner tests positive for COVID-19. So, and my immediate reaction was, how did they not figure this out until midway through the game? So, you know how I am. I was all, trigger happy and went on Twitter and started tweeting about it and everything. Justin Turner's got COVID. I'm on all these threads looking about it. No one else is really talking about it. We're all talking about the Dodgers won the World Series. And in the meantime, Justin Turner is on the field. And, there's some shots of them with the mask on, mask off. And he's just having a casual celebration. What do you guys think about this? Like, what was Justin Turner thinking?
I don't really know. I mean, you can say like, oh, well, I mean, he was already playing in the game, so what does it matter if he's celebrating there or whatnot? But still, at that point, he didn't know that he had it, and then he does have it. So regardless of how you feel about the virus, I feel like it's just kind of like careless on his part and reckless to just go back out. Like he knows he has it. And just, then when they're all celebrating, they're like, media people on the field and camera people. So, I mean, yes, if he was already playing, he, could have spread it to other players that he was already playing with, but there's also a chance that he didn't. So, I understand you just won the World Series after, many postseason fails, and you want to celebrate with your teammates, but I find it a little careless and a little reckless on his part. And, the Dodgers let him do it. It's not like they weren't, keeping him in the locker room or anything like that. So I think it's a little reckless on his part.
Well, first, I just want to know how, he got the results back so fast when, me and a couple of my friends got tested for it. We had to wait 4 days, 3 to 4 days. So I don't know how he got his results back. So
I'll stop you there real quick. Obviously, the MLB has pretty fast testing because they got to get these guys tested for the games. Supposedly, Turner was tested twice on Tuesday, once early in the morning and a second time later in the day. And both tests came back positive, and they didn't find that out until the second inning of the game.
Oh, so he still played in the game?
He played, yes, he was in the game.
They
and
took him out in the sixth or seventh.
It was the 5th or 6th inning they took him out of the
Yeah.
game, yes. So he was playing the game, they knew he had it for a while. Apparently, the MLB offices found out about it while the game was in the second inning, and then they informed the Dodgers. So I guess it took some time to get that message out there. But Anthony, you can continue now.
Well, personally, if he was around all of them, then yes, it's kind of irresponsible to be around people. But at the same time, if it was one of us and our team's about to win the World Series after many, many failures, we want to be out on the field and especially because now he's a free agent, so who knows what he's going to do. Like, who knows if Dodgers take him back? So just yes, it was a little irresponsible. But if you saw, like, first a lot of the time he had the mask on, and even in the dugout he was like, say, more towards the right, and everyone was like kind of staying away. And then for the team picture, he sat in front, a little in front of everyone, and he wanted to have his mask stay on, but they kept saying take it off. So he took it off just for like 2 pictures. But I think it's just crazy because at the beginning when the MLB first started again, like, you'll see teams with COVID, and then for a while it's just you didn't hear anything, which is very good, like, sign. And then in the last game of the World Series, you just happen to hear it. And then now that just is the question: if he has it, and he's obviously with the team all time, who else on the team has it? Who on the Rays could possibly have it? So just like another mini outbreak that's gonna happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's plenty of shots of him after the game, embracing it with teammates. And I'm pretty sure there's a shot of him, kissing the commissioner's trophy as well, which I imagine all the Dodgers players and staff got their hands on last night.
Mm.
So it doesn't bode well for anyone, honestly. I get what Anthony's saying. There's a fine line between being safe and wanting to celebrate with your team, especially after all these postseason failures they've had in the past. But you just got to be smart. There's going to be an eventual parade. They're going to hold a parade for this. Anthony says he's a free agent. If he ends up re-signing with the team, they're going to do something before, there's going to be a banner celebration before opening day next year. And, if say he does go somewhere else, eventually he'll make his way back to Los Angeles. They'll honor him when he gets back there eventually, because he's been with that team for so long. He's been through all those postseason failures. So you got to be smarter. He didn't fly back with the team because they didn't want to take any chances. Apparently everyone else tested negative. So I'm not exactly sure, Anthony said he was staying away from teammates. He had his mask on. But again, it's just not smart on his end, for lack of.
Dom, I think your audio is cutting out.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. So when did it cut out?
Stop recording right now.
No. When did it cut out? This is your computer goes black, buddy. We can miss my audio for a few seconds.
Well,
When did it cut out?
Right when you're about to say, like, we heard a couple of players, most players tested negative, and then you're going on saying he didn't fly back with the team.
Okay, so he didn't fly back with the team, because he was positive and everyone else was tested negative. Apparently, players on both teams tested negative. So, trying to think of what I said.
You were starting to go into the fact, like you were like, it's still irresponsible on his part.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's irresponsible on his end. It just, did you guys hear the stuff I said about how there's gonna be a parade and they can
Yes.
celebrate then? Okay, so yeah, he can celebrate then.
Literally right when I said it, it went out.
Okay.
We weren't like just waiting this long period of time.
That's good. Yeah, that's all I'll say about it. Okay, like, Justin Turner, be smarter next time if something like that happens. I'm sure there was a lot of families there, wives, children. Other people care about their health too, so be smart. Let's not do that next time. If there is a next time, hopefully there isn't. So
Please no.
yeah, nothing but pain 2020. Okay, so let's stick to the theme of MLB. And guys, I got a really good feeling from seeing Clayton Kershaw celebrate last night, embracing his first ever championship. It gave me a lot of vibes of when Ovechkin finally won it with the Capitals a couple of years back, and that was just a great scene to see. So, how happy are you guys for Clayton Kershaw?
I'm pretty happy for him. I mean, he's, I've always kind of liked Kershaw. I mean, he's been the most dominant pitcher in the MLB for many seasons, and to fail time after time again, it just it felt pretty good to see him finally get this one.
Yes, most definitely. Like, happy for Clayton Kershaw. He like he's not a hateable guy. Everybody likes him. He struggles sometimes, but then like this year, he adjusted. He adapted to his struggles and made them better. So just like congrats to him. And after the game, his like baby came on the field, which is I'm sure a special moment for him to always remember. So it's just a great thing to see that like a player who worked, his whole career, and like how you said Ovechkin, and then they finally get it. It's like it feels like it's so deserved, and it's just something that just is like amazing to see.
So it was a very good moment to see Clayton Kershaw finally get his ring. And I think it made everyone happy. Like we were saying, when Ovechkin got his ring with the Capitals, it made everyone happy. And now seeing Kershaw get his ring makes everyone else happy, especially Clayton Kershaw. So congratulations, Clayton. Again, congratulations to the Dodgers. But it's a while away. But why don't we take a look in the next season, guys? Anthony, you had an article come out about a week ago, some key free agents. You want to break some of those down for us right here and now?
Yes. So first, JT Realmuto, best catcher in baseball, special player, and catchers are getting paid more now with Grindel signing with the White Sox for 74 million for 3 years, and Realmuto is so much more worth than him. He'll be looking at like a $200 million contract, which it's a lot, but he's a win now player. So I see the Yankees. The Phillies will try to give like their qualifying offer to him, but honestly, I don't see the Phillies signing him back. But the Yankees is the spot that I see the most for him. Just they have the money. They're not afraid to just buy a better player. They do have Gary Sanchez, but he's barely the starting catcher anymore. Garrett Cole doesn't even prefer him. So like I think Romuto to the Yankees, and then the Mets could be a surprise too, just because they got a new owner. He's a billionaire. So he says City Field is gonna have a new way of spending. So that's what his hopes are for this off season.
Real quick, Anthony. I saw some rumors coming out earlier that the new owner hasn't officially been like the purchase hasn't been made official just quite yet, but apparently the mayor of New York doesn't want the move to happen. Not entirely sure why, but just some food for thought.
Like a
Well,
Newcastle situation, losing the owners before they come in.
There you go, perfect, man.
so it's the new owner or who is trying to be
Potential new owner.
Yep, is Steve Cohen. He's a hedge fund billionaire. So I think just like New York is scared of, I guess, the money that he's going to be bringing in and all this money going towards the baseball. And I don't know. I don't know why New York is really like that. Like they don't want him. I think just because of his wealth and his power that he has. So I think that's probably why. That's what I think. And then for the second best pitcher, Trevor Bauer, potential NL Cy Young winner this year. Two teams I'd like to see him to go to. He did announce that he just wants to do 1 year deals and increase in pay each year for the rest of his career. I think he'll follow that. The Reds actually have a good chance of signing him just because he's that star player. I think he kind of wants that. Like everyone goes to him, and he has a great relationship with the pitching coach. But two teams besides the Reds, I'll say is the Twins or White Sox. So the Twins, they have a nice bullpen, but they can't win past the first round. So they're gonna need that pitcher just to just to add to it. He brings that dominant presence. Lower a 1.73 ERA this year, and then the White Sox just because White Sox have a great young core. They're going to be one of the best teams within the next 2 years. Michael Kopech's going to be coming off injury. I think we had Tommy John again, and then they just have like Luis Rob or Eloy Jimenez. They just have such a good young team, and if he wants to do those 1 year deals and kind of be like how Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, just to win the championship. Then he left. Like if he wants to be a player like that, the Twins and White Sox will be two great places for him. Just because they're young, they have already a good bullpen, and their hitting is just amazing. So the hitters will have his back in case he gives up 2 to 3 runs each time he pitches. The last guy, George Springer. George Springer, the Astros have so many free agents, especially next year, in Carlos Correa, and then this year they have Springer, Reddick, and Brantley. They're 3 outfielders as free agents, so they're going to want to bring 2 of them back, and so Springer, I think, does sign back with the Astros just because how important he is. He was former World Series MVP for them, and he's always does better in the postseason. But a place I could see him go to is the Nationals. If he doesn't sign back, the Nationals, they have Soto in the outfield. They'll have money. They're kind of older, but then they have a young core bringing up, which will be good for him. And they haven't signed it, and the Nationals haven't had a big contract since Jason Worth, and they got Jason Worth kind of in the end of his career, so this could be kind of the same thing for Springer. And then just last person I would say is DJ LeMahieu. I think the Yankees will try to sign him back. They did not expect him to produce as good as he did in his years there. But a potential team that could try to get him is the Dodgers. After winning the World Series, the Dodgers and the Yankees are very similar. They're going to just try to get the best person out there. They're going to be loaded in depth in case someone gets hurt or they like this analytical matchup better. And then LeMahieu is like a top 5 hitter when he's in within the first 3 spots batting. And the Dodgers, I know Mookie is their leadoff hitter, but LeMahieu's average is 10 times better than Mookie's leading off, and Mookie bet has always been used, especially with the Red Sox, like 3, 2, 3, 4. So if they have that LeMahieu at 1, get on base, have Mookie, Muncy, Bellinger behind, just a very scary lineup. Plus LeMahieu is a utility person now. He can play second, he can play first, so that just helps the Dodgers out with moving players around in pieces.
Yeah, Anthony makes some good points, and I guess just quickly, I'll give my 2 cents on it. I think JT Realmuto either re-signs with the Phillies, or I could see him going to the Nationals. I think he does want to re-sign with the Phillies. He's got a good connection with most of the guys on the team, and I think the only way he does leave the Phillies is if someone offers him lucrative money, like Anthony's saying. Trevor Bauer, I don't really want to make a prediction on where he could go because he could literally go anywhere. I see him on social media all the time, always talking about, oh, these fans are asking me to go here. Should I go there? So he could literally go anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the Marlins or something. So that could happen. Anthony said George Springer. I think he either does re-sign with Houston, or I also like the Phillies as a destination for him. If they don't end up re-signing Realmuto, and they're probably not going to end up re-signing Gregorius either, so they could look to bring in George Springer. And then DJ LeMahieu, I don't see him going anywhere else besides the Yankees. I think the Yankees like him a lot. So, yeah, I didn't go as in-depth as Anthony did, but, there's my 2 cents. Dan, do you want to make any free agent picks?
No. I mean, I guess I'm not, too knowledgeable about the situation, but I see Springer going back to the Astros. I don't really see him leaving.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at next season as a whole now. We just finished the World Series, but do you guys think the Dodgers could be in the next World Series? And if not, who else is there?
I very well think the Dodgers could make it back. I mean, they're always in and around there anyway. It's just this year they finally got it. They're a star-studded team. They still got Kershaw, Bellinger, all those guys. So I don't know if I see of course free agency will affect it, but I don't know if I see any outstanding candidates that can just knock them off their horse very easily.
Yeah, the Dodgers do have a good chance, but I like the Padres so much. They're young. They're just going to get better. and they're not afraid to make a big trade. But if I had to predict a World Series right now, I would say the Padres versus whatever. If Trevor Bauer signs with the Twins or White Sox, I predict like one of those two teams if Bauer's there. So Padres versus the White Sox or Twins if Bauer signs, but if he doesn't, I would say Padres versus I think it's the Yankees year. It's been a little while, so I'll say Padres Yankees. The Rays, after how good they did this season, they're gonna be good. I just don't think they'll be as like good. It might have been just like a 1 year thing. Like they're gonna be a competitive team and they're gonna make the playoffs, but I just don't think they'll have that that cutting edge like that they did this year.
And presumably we're supposed to have a full season, right? 162 games.
162 games as of right
Yeah,
now.
so who knows? The Rays were very good this year over 60 games, but we don't know over the 162 how well they'll do. We know the Dodgers are good and on
And they have
162
depth
game
too.
schedule.
With those 162 games, you're gonna need depth. So
Yeah,
the
so that's
Dodgers
what'll
are
benefit teams like
prepared.
the Dodgers and the
Yeah.
Yankees.
All right, so Dan, you said the Dodgers probably gonna make it back to the World Series. You got an AL prediction too?
I would probably say the Yankees. I mean, I know it's the two big name teams or whatever, but kind of like we kind of just said, with it's going to be a full season again. How our team's going to readjust back to the full schedule, and the Yankees. I mean, I'm definitely not a Yankees fan, but it almost feels as if they're due to at least make it to the World Series. I don't know if they'll win the World Series, but at least make it there.
Okay, so I'm gonna agree with Dan. I fully expect to see the Dodgers back in the World Series, representing the NL. Anthony, I like the point you make about how the Padres are good, but I just don't think they're quite there yet. They matched up with the Dodgers in the NLDS, I believe it was, and the Dodgers completely swept the floor with them. So I don't think the Padres are there just yet, but they can be soon. But the Dodgers will be in the World Series, I imagine. If not, something probably went very wrong for them. And on the AL side, I like the Athletics, honestly. I like the offense they provide. Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, two very good hitters. And they've got a pretty decent pitching staff, too. So I'm not going to say I'd put money on it, but I would take them over the Yankees, honestly.
I would like to see them
win a lot of money if you put it now. The odds that they have, the Athletics are such a good young team, especially with Jesus Luardo. Just they're a good young team. They did well. Now they did lose Marcus Semien in free agency. I think he'll sign back. But if you put a lot of money on that right now, just like $10, you could be looking at like a lot of money.
Well, Anthony, if I recall on a few podcasts ago, you said to not gamble. So
I'm not allowed to gamble. I signed a contract with the NCAA. I'm just saying.
Well, I have an imaginary contract with them too, and I don't think we'd want to promote gambling to any children that could potentially be watching this, Anthony.
Definitely not.
You need to be careful. All right, so that's baseball. Do you guys got anything else to say before move on?
Don't think so.
All right, so final congratulations to the Dodgers, 2020 World Series champions. Me and Dan hit the nail right on the head. Dodgers in 6. Anthony was ever so close. He had Rays in 7, but Blake Snell was pulled after 5 1/3. So that's baseball for now. And Dan, let's move over to you. We had some Champions League action on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yes,
want to
we
break down
did.
some games for us?
Yeah. So of course the high-profile game that we were all looking forward to. I mean, it still happened, but not to the vein that we expected it. Barcelona played Juventus today. Cristiano Ronaldo still with COVID-19, so he did not play. So we're still hoping that he gets better. But Barcelona win this one 2-0. I think Juventus had like 3 disallowed goals.
Yes, Morata had 3 goals that were all ruled offsides.
Yeah, I think I'm not quite sure on the first 2, but I was watching the second half. At least for the third disallowed goal, he was definitely offside.
The second
it
one,
was-
the second one had it not been offsides, it probably would have been ruled a handball. So
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that, Juventus deserved 3 points or 1 point really. Just kind of what I noticed throughout the game, Juventus they were not able to create through the midfield. It felt like any chances that they had, it was a long ball from Bonucci or Dybala had to drop so far back just to link play up, which is something that they can't do to win. I mean, obviously Ronaldo wasn't there, but I don't think they lost this game because Murata was striker. I just it just was not a very good performance, at least from my eyes. Ousmane Dembele scored, and then I think in the 14th minute, and then in like the 90th, Bernardeschi just tackled Ansu Fati in the box, and Messi got a penalty for his 70th group stage goal in the Champions League. So that was a big game. I also have to say Demiral, I don't know, he just a stupid challenge towards the end of the game, got himself a red card. Well, his second yellow rather. So he's gonna miss the next game, which could prove to be kind of detrimental for Juventus, because health of center backs isn't always too great there. But yeah, that was that game. Another big game that I mentioned on the last podcast, Manchester United versus Leipzig. And man, United they just demolished Leipzig. They won 5-0. Marcus Rashford came on as a sub and got a hat trick. I mean, he has just been performing so far in the Champions League, 4 goals in 2 games, pretty insane. And they're at 6 points atop the group right now. So very, very good start for them. And Leipzig still, they still have the 3 points from last game. PSG also won today, but I believe Neymar got injured or he had to be taken off. So that's something that they're going to have to keep an eye on. He's so integral to their success. So they are really hoping for a speedy recovery. And then the last game I kind of want to talk about is Real Madrid Mönchengladbach. So if you took a look at the article that I posted, I predicted Gladbach and Inter to go through in this group, and
very good
so
article.
could
If you haven't read it
happen.
yet, go read it.
Yeah, thank you. But Gladbach were up 2-0, heading very late into the game, and then sadly, well, not sadly if you're a Real Madrid fan, but they came back. I think it was Modric scored in the 87th, Benzema scored in the 87th, and then Casemiro scored in the 93rd minute, and they secured the point. So, I mean, kind of tough if you're a Gladbach fan being up, but I would say it's still good to secure a point. They secured 2 points against Inter Milan and Real Madrid, which to me is pretty good, and they play Shakhtar next, who also drew in a goalless draw against Inter. So still a very interesting group. And an interesting thing that came out of that game was that apparently Karim Benzema, he literally just told left back Ferland Mendy to stop playing the ball to Vinicius because his play in the final third has been kind of abysmal, and he's had problems with teammates in the past. The whole French team scandal. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go there with him, and Zidane's kind of on a hot seat too. So yeah, that was Champions League. Dom, you have any other games that you want to talk about?
I want to touch upon the Juve Barcelona game, just because like what you said was absolutely right. Juve just couldn't really convert. They couldn't make chances. The midfield wasn't really helping. It was kind of a one-man show between Murata and Dybala. So I would say this. They looked a lot better in this game than they did against Verona on the weekend, which doesn't really say a lot. But they really lacked a leadership role, I would say. Chiellini didn't play, and of course, no Ronaldo. So those are 2 pretty important guys. So unless they wanted to play Buffon, no one, I don't feel like anyone was going to take that role because I don't feel like Bonucci is a leader in the way that those 2 guys are. But I'm not going to say I like the way they played, but it was refreshing after the performance they put on against Verona on the weekend. And let me make a bold take. I see Juventus going pretty deep in the Champions League under Pirlo in his first season. Honestly, I think like I said, it wasn't an amazing game. It's nothing to rave over, but I looked at this game on the schedule and I was like, no Ronaldo. I'd be happy if we didn't lose 8-2, because that was like an honest opinion that I had. I was like sitting here, I just got out of my class earlier today, and I was like, yeah, we're probably going to get smoked, but I'm okay with it. It's the second game of the group stage, and we'll probably still make it out considering the two other teams in the group. And I'm just like, just don't lose this game 8-2, and we'll be okay. And we didn't lose 8-2, which is great. Barcelona lost 8-2 to Bayern, if you don't understand what I'm getting at. And yeah, Anthony, fight me.
Barcelona will win the group now.
Okay, I don't really care. They, the top two teams make it through, so it doesn't really matter who wins the group. But like I said, I could a healthy Juventus team with Cristiano Ronaldo back, and eventually when De Ligt comes back, that'll help out the defense a lot. Especially the way Chiellini, it's not like he's gonna be consistent anymore. He's old now. He's not gonna play every single game like he used to do. So it's going to be good to see him back. And, Demiral, like Dan said, a stupid challenge towards the end of the game to earn himself a second yellow to get himself thrown out. And now he'll miss the next game next week. But I like Demiral. He's got a lot. But the team's good. As I said, Murata had 3 goals, but they all got disallowed. His positioning is just a little bad. But I think, yeah, you get the point. I think Juventus have what it takes. I'm not going to say they win it all, because I still think Bayern are the heavy favorites to win it. And then, you still need to look at the other teams, like, Barcelona again, and then just any other team, PSG, Man United, Chelsea, maybe. So I like them. I like where they could go, especially, Pirlo's first year. But I think that's all I have to say on that. So, Dan, why don't you continue?
Yeah. Juventus, like you said, they didn't get bad or anything. I think Griezmann kind of missed a sitter, though. And Dembele probably should have another
the
goal.
game definitely should have ended like 5-0, but Szczesny made a couple decent saves, and there were just some missed opportunities by Barcelona.
Yeah. So, I mean, you definitely can't count them out, especially because, Cristiano Ronaldo. Some of the teams that perform well, Chelsea won 4-0, and Christian Pulisic scored, the American. And I mean, I don't know how exactly how it is, but I can't even remember the last time an American probably scored in the Champions League. Or Tyler Adams may have scored last year for Leipzig, but if you're an American, it's good to see all these players playing in Europe's top competition.
USA all the way, baby.
Keep an eye on that. And I guess speaking of Europe's top competition, I just want to briefly touch upon. There's been a new proposed idea called the European Premier League, and it would consist of the 18 best teams in Europe. So if you're saying it kind of sounds like the Champions League, well, you're kind of right. It would just be a season. Those teams would play in those leagues, 3 points and draws, and then the final 4 teams would play in a little tournament bracket at the end to see the winner. And right now it's being backed by JP Morgan with a $6 billion like package to help them get started. But it's just really weird to think about, because if this were implemented, the Champions League would be scrapped completely, because teams would favor that. And this plan, I guess I'll say, it's backed by FIFA, the World Football governing body, and the Champions League is ran by UEFA, so 2 different entities. And it's just I could probably write an article about it to go a bit more in depth, but it would probably lower league teams would lose a ton of revenue because people would just want to watch that league. Cup competitions would probably have to be slashed, because that would be at least 36 more fixtures in the league. So it would change the landscape of soccer, world football, just like that. So I guess before we move on, do you guys have an opinion on that? Would you like to see that the best of the best competing each
I'm going to
weekend?
take a shot at
Or
that.
do you like the Champions League the way it is?
I like the Champions League. I think it'd be really, really stupid to make a European Premier League. As fun as it sounds, I prefer the Champions League because it's like, oh well, it'd be interesting to see this team versus that team, and there's no guarantee that we're going to get that. If we had that, then it'd just be like, okay, well now we're going to see that, and then it's also like, our team's going to be relegated, our team's going to be promoted, are they going to, and another thing is the travel too.
Yeah.
They're not going to just nix the English Premier League and the Serie A and La Liga. They can't do that. So what are they going to do with all this travel? Say a team like Bayern, they got to travel, halfway across Germany to go, face some team. And now they got to go to Liverpool to play Liverpool. And then 3 days later, they got to go back to Germany. And then, 3 more days later, they got to go over to Italy to play Inter. So that just seems like a lot. And I just, like the idea, it sounds great, obviously. Like it's cool. It sounds awesome. It sounds like something I'd want to do in FIFA, but that's a video game. So, in a video game, the characters don't have to travel. These are real people. They have to travel. All these guys got families. They don't, I imagine they don't want to be doing that. It's like one thing being in the Champions League and it's like, okay, well, we got to go to Hungary to play this team. Like, okay, that's weird. But to do it like on a constant basis, it's just, I feel like it'd be too much. And then, like you said, Dan, we're going to lose, probably domestic cups. We would lose the FA Cup. We would lose this Coppa Italia. We'd lose the Coppa del Rey. We would lose stuff like that. Those are fun tournaments to watch, honestly. So,
Yeah.
I just, like, I don't mind if there's more, or if they make like a bigger European tournament. But I think a European Premier League just wouldn't do it for me. And you mentioned how it's backed by FIFA. FIFA is the most corrupt organization in the world. So if anyone throws a little bit of money at them, they're going to say, yeah, and with a smile on their face. So
$6 million. That's what it's getting.
yeah,
thrown at them.
they're going to be chomping at the bit at every single penny of that. So Anthony, if you've got any opinions on this, you can
I
go now.
don't want to see it. I like how you do have those cup tournaments and like the Copa del Rey. Like, I just think it's good the way it is. If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Yeah, and I think that's like the main proposers of this, besides it being FIFA backed, are the owners of Liverpool and Manchester United, who are the same people that proposed the Project Big Picture, like we explained a couple podcasts ago, and that limited the league a little bit, took away cup competitions. So it seems like, to me, it just seems like this will benefit the bigger teams the most. So the rich will get richer in that sense. And with cup competitions being gone, it seemed like I think it was last season or the season ago, like, Watford made it to the FA Cup final. Like, that's, that team got a little bit of glory, got a little bit more money. Like, that won't happen. And with the relegation system, I think I read it was like, so the FIFA considers there to be 12 founding fathers in football, like your Barcelona's, Real Madrid's, teams like that. And then the other 6 would be, like league winners or play-ins. But in that sense, like you won't see a Leicester City winning that. You know what I mean? So it definitely, I do see the merit in it, in that you'll be seeing the best of the best play every single week. And it'll be interesting to see how they use their squads and whatnot. But it seems too far fetched to just scrap everything that they're doing, especially when it's doing well, and smaller teams, it will crush them, because many smaller teams barely have like a positive profit to begin with. Like if you're in like the second English tier, you kind of barely make any money. But with this new system, I think many teams will go under, and that just won't be good for the game.
Yeah, I mean, you've said it right. I mean, like I said, FIFA, they see the money and they're like, ooh, yeah. And they see all the money they can make from this and they're like, ooh, yeah. So that's why they really want to do it. And then I feel like another thing is, like, you see these big name teams and I feel like it's a big name factor. It's like, oh, you want to see those teams play each other. That factor is going to go away after like 5 or 6 years of this thing happening. Because, I mean, look at us recently. We all saw Messi versus Ronaldo in the group stage of the Champions League, and we were, drooling at the thought of it. Obviously, we didn't get the first matchup of it, but we're still going to get a second one in December. And, you know, if we do something like that where, oh, guess what? We're going to see Messi versus Ronaldo every year again. Sure, we love to see that. But it's going to get old eventually because those guys are old. We know they're at the tail ends of their career, so we're not going to see that for, you know, for forever now at this point. But it's going to lose value at some point because, I mean, you know, like, again, you look at the Champions League and it's like, okay, Manchester City are going to play Bayern. Like, that's a fun game. I'd want to watch that game. You know, Liverpool are going to play Juve. That's a fun game. I'd like to watch that game. But if I'm seeing it every year and I'm seeing it twice a year, it's just going to get old for me at some point. It's like, okay, this is no longer a big game because I imagine these teams are going to play again in, you know, 3 months. So that's another thing that would just be no for me.
Yeah, definitely. I guess just one last point before I move on to a few games in the domestic leagues. I feel like if this were to happen, squad size would be a huge thing to these teams. So they would just go out and start buying, like, promising them players so they could play in this competition and this one. And I feel like it'll just stunt their growth and not allow um for like good players to be at many different teams. It would just seem more like super teams and things like that. So you know, unless things are amended and they can kind of think of a good way to do it, which I think the good way is the Champions League, but we'll have to wait and see if something comes of it. So yeah, so that's the European Premier League. Keep an eye on that. I'm sure things will, keep coming out. So this weekend in the domestic leagues, we have a few games that I'd like to go over. So on, I believe it's Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Manchester United face Arsenal at Old Trafford. So United's been playing really well as of late. Arsenal last week lost to Leicester, even though they probably should have at least gotten a point. So, two big English sides going at it. I think United will probably have the edge in this one just based on how well they're playing, based on how well Marcus Rashford's playing. But it'll definitely be a interesting watch. Also in the Premier League, what was the other game? On Monday, Leeds play Leicester, two teams that are performing very well so far that we maybe didn't expect to be performing this well. So two teams sitting close to the top of the table. It'll be a very interesting one. See how Bielsa goes up against Rodgers. So that's one to keep an eye on. And then lastly, moving over to the Bundesliga, we have Borussia Mönchengladbach play RB Leipzig. Two teams that had mixed results. Leipzig more so than Gladbach in the Champions League over the weekend. They're near. I think Leipzig is atop the Bundesliga table, and Leipzig is top, and Gladbach is sixth, but not far off. So a big German clash this weekend. That'd be interesting to see who wins.
It's going to be a fun weekend in soccer, as always. So, if you've got, I know Bundesliga and Serie A are on ESPN Plus. If you got that, go check those games out. Premier League always has a game or two on NBC. Go check those out. And, I imagine you can follow them all. And, if there's any interesting results or anything happens, you can be sure we'll be talking about it. So, let's move on from soccer. We've got a few NFL questions, and we'll use this to move right into NFL Week 8. Let's start with this question. Cam Newton and the Patriots, they've been underperforming a lot recently. Cam Newton, I think in his past 2 games, has no touchdowns and 5 interceptions, which is not good at all. So the question is Cam Newton going to remain the starter for the rest of the season? Anthony, why don't you answer this one first?
Well, the thing that I think messed Cam Newton up was him getting COVID. I really thought he was a top 5 quarterback in league in the first couple of weeks, and he lost to Seattle by a half a yard, and he was on fire. And I just think COVID just knocked him out, messed him all up. If he doesn't do good this week, I would put Stidham in because you have nothing to lose now, or a potential trade could be like Sam Darnold. We don't know if the Jets are going to keep him or deal him, but Sam Darnold's a great quarterback, and I think especially like Bill Belichick and Sam Darnold, I think they'll be a good fit. But
They wouldn't
if
trade him within the division.
They'd have to pay a king's ransom if they were to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're
know,
looking at
Gilmore-
first round picks for the next 40 years, and Stephon
Stephen
Gilmore, too.
Gilmore's getting older. Belichick ships them out once they get like a couple years in. So just I don't know. I think
He's still one of the
if
better
Cam-
corners in the league, and it's not like
Yeah.
they're going to ship him out for Sam Darnold. I don't even
You
think the
know-
Jets would look at that deal, honestly.
And of course you need picks. Like if the Jets decide to keep Darnold, say, I know this is not like the question that, and they are going to trade that first round, that number 1 overall pick or whatever pick they get, we assume it's going to be number 1. That's going to have to be like 4 to 5 draft picks, first rounders, second rounders from a team, But like I just think if Cam does bad, put Stidham in, maybe we got like an end of season run. They're not going to make the playoffs, but it's now rebuilding time for the Pats.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, obviously Cam Newton got COVID, but just the Patriots as a whole just have not looked good since he got it. I don't really know if benching him would be the best. I think I would just continue to play him because unless you think that Stidham could possibly be your guy, I don't see a reason in playing him. Maybe get him out there for a few games, but I would look towards this upcoming draft for a quarterback. There are a few that, I mean, they're not going to get Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, but you could still find one. Belichick can find his guy. So I would stick with Cam, maybe go sit him just a few late games in the season, just see how he does with the reps. But just the Patriots as a whole, the defense, the run game, everything just does not look good.
Yeah, Dan hit the nail right on the head right there. I think, keep Cam in, but if need be, you can put Stidham in there and, let him finish out a game or something. But stick with Cam, get a quarterback in the draft, or Bill Belichick probably signed one who works at Walmart right now. But you never know. I don't think they'll be making a playoff push, but especially with the way the AFC's playing out so far. But stay optimistic, Patriots fans, and you too, Anthony. And next question, stick with the theme of quarterbacks. We're almost midway through the season, so who are you looking at right now for the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the league?
Ooh, tough question.
You can go first, Dan.
I guess immediately what pops to my head would be Rodgers and Adams, just because, like, I don't think, like we discussed last week, I don't think that Adams is the best receiver in the league, but just the combination of both, like DeAndre Hopkins, I know Kyler Murray's playing great this season, but I still think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray. And then I like Russell Wilson right now better than Aaron Rodgers, but are Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf better than Devontae Adams? It's definitely tough to say. So just as soon as you ask me the question, my first instinct says Rodgers Adams.
I would say, Kyler Hopkins, just because I think to be that top duo, you have to have something like special from the beginning. And you saw the first game they ever played with each other. Hopkins and Murray both went off, and that connection was there from the minute they stepped on the field together. And I just think Murray's on the rise. Rodgers is still very good. He still has 2 to 3 years left of his all-star performing level. But I just think just because Rodgers is better than Murray doesn't mean that it's a better duo, because Hopkins elevates Murray. And I just think that those two are. If you have to do a 2-on-2, them two win all the time.
Well, do you think the gap between Rodgers and Murray is smaller than is larger than between Hopkins and Adams?
Well, no, the Hopkins, like, if I did like out of Hopkins is like an A+, as A+, and then I would say Adams is probably like an A, so that's like a letter difference, I guess. And then for like Rodgers, I say Rodgers is an A, and Murray's not that far behind him. Like Murray is probably an A-. I think Murray and Rodgers are pretty much equal. Like not Rodgers has a little bit, but like I like that duo so much that it just makes Murray. I think Murray, like within like by the end of the season, will have better numbers than Rodgers and Adams.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I'll stick with the theme of we're going to choose someone different. I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill.
I thought about it. I did think about it.
Yeah, I think my immediate thought was Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, or maybe Drew Brees and Michael Thomas.
Crossed my mind.
But I feel like, Patrick Mahomes, obviously I don't need to explain that decision. And I feel like whenever you see him throw the ball to Tyreek Hill, 9 times out of 10 ends up being a touchdown or an absurd gain or a very good play or something like that. So, I'm not going to lie. I don't really have evidence to back it up on why I think it is, but I think it's, one of the best ones. I think, if I were to choose one, I think I would go with Dan's, but I want to be different here. So I'm going to go Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. I think that's one of the top, if not the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the league.
Maybe Ben DiNucci, CeeDee Lamb, but we'll have to see for next week.
I think you mean Michael
funny.
Gallup.
Maybe.
And I thought it was pretty funny, Anthony. So that's pretty rude. All right, so let's stick with the NFL. We've got a little bit of news. We mentioned Odell Beckham got hurt on the last podcast. It was confirmed he tore his ACL. He's going to miss the remainder of the year. How much do you guys imagine that's going to affect the Browns?
Yeah, I think it'll be at least a decent loss. I mean, the Browns right now 5-2. They do, of course, rely more on the run game, I would say. But Odell, he's been having a solid season, definitely better than last season. We all got to admit that. But I just think a few players are going to step up. Jarvis Landry, where have you been like all year? I've had you on a fantasy team. You've been nowhere. He definitely has to step up. I mean, he played really well last year, but this year just has not seemed to hit the ground running. Maybe we can see the emergence of Donovan Peoples-Jones, who caught the touchdown to win them the game last week. So it'll definitely be a big hurt because Odell Beckham Jr. definitely draws attention from like the best corners, and the safety probably shadows a bit more towards his direction. So it'll definitely be a big loss for the Browns.
I think it's a big loss. Browns just starting. I think this week because I play the Raiders, if I'm not wrong. Starting now, just gonna go down. Miss the playoffs. Browns season's pretty much over. That's how I feel about it.
Anthony's hatred for Baker Mayfield and the Browns comes out again. Okay, so I like what Dan said. It'll affect them, it'll hurt them, but other players need to step up. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he had
Next man up.
He had a very big game the other day against the Bengals. If they can get more production out of him, they'll get healthier too as the season goes along. Eventually, when Chubb will come back from injury. I think isn't Njoku still hurt? Maybe when he comes back.
No, he played last week.
Did he?
He played last week.
Is Hooper still hurt?
They had I forget the name of their tight end. He had a really good
Bryant.
He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, look for
I think he's
those
out
guys
of
to
Washington.
So,
Washington.
All right, other news. If the Browns were in the market for a wide receiver, 1, if not 2 of the top names are gone. I think we talked about the other day how Antonio Brown has signed with the Buccaneers. And now Des Bryant has signed to the Ravens practice squad. Do you guys make anything of this move?
I mean, Perhaps. I feel like we've been talking about Dez comeback for a while.
Well, to
I
be
mean,
fair, he
that
signed with the
was
Saints a
time
couple
the
years ago,
Saints.
and then
Yeah,
I think he tore his Achilles,
yeah.
and that
So
finished him there. So
we'll have to see if he could stay healthy, stay focused on football, because before when he was with Dallas, he liked to talk a lot. There's nothing wrong with talking a lot, but he needs to focus on football, and the Ravens could be a good spot for him. It's not like there are some stud wide receivers ahead of him that could keep him out. I mean, Hollywood Brown's really good, but I can see a path for him onto the team.
Definitely. I like the Ravens, just because the Ravens don't have that. All their wide receivers are quick, like Brown, Duvernay. All of them are like small, quick guys, and you don't see the Ravens a lot throw the ball up like for a Moss or a fade in the end zone because they don't have that big guy. And I think Bryant will suit them there just because he has experience, size, and before he left the NFL, he was a top receiver in the league. And I know it's been a couple years and injuries, but I just think that he's just another weapon that Lamar can have. Lamar's always used to throwing the ball down the field to these fast guys. Now he has this big dude who's can get up high, has strength that will bring the ball down. So, I think it'll be fun to watch with him on the Ravens.
yeah, I imagine probably at this rate with the amount of injuries that each team's having, he'll quickly find his way to game day and be with the starting team. Very quickly, the Monday night game between the Rams and the Bears. The Rams absolutely picked apart the Bears. They won the game 24-10. Nick Foles throws 2 picks. Allen Robinson, he got hurt. I think he's in concussion protocol right now. Any takes on this game, guys? On this beatdown?
The Rams defense just totally, like you said, just didn't allow the Bears to move at all. And it's good to see if you're a Rams fan, you're 5-2, right? They're 5-2 right now.
5-2, yep.
Pretty good record, especially considering how kind of like disappointing last season was. So good job by the Rams. They did enough. Jared Goff did his thing. Didn't play amazing, but he played well, and that's all they needed to do to win. So good job, Rams.
Now, Rams played very well. The defense was very good. I said this last week, the Bears are not a good football team. They have a great defense, but they're not a good team. So this is like how I said for the Browns, this is where the Bears are going to start falling down. The Packers take the division, and then the Lions sweep in for that second spot.
Jeez.
And the Bears play the Saints this week too.
Anthony just wants to see the NFL burn. All right, so let's move into Week 8. It starts Thursday night. The 1-6 Falcons play the 3-4 Panthers in an NFC South clash. Any takes on this game, guys?
I believe Panthers will be without Christian McCaffrey this week. So I think next week come back, which I'll be very happy about, even though Mike Davis has been playing pretty well. Last 2 weeks, a little down compared to what he was producing earlier. But I mean, I think the Panthers very narrowly lost to the Saints last week. The offense, put together some good drives, and the defense played okay. And the Falcons lost a very, very close one last week. They still have a high-powered offense, so I think it'll be a good game. I actually think Carolina will come out with the win in this one. I just think they're, a very solid team all around.
I agree there. They have great weapons, especially I know McCaffrey's not expected to be back this week, but next week, and then Coach Rule, I think he's just a really good coach. And his offense will expose the Falcons' defense.
Well said, guys. You took everything I was going to say. So I'll take the Panthers to win the game as well. Look at the Sunday night game. Cowboys, they come to Philly. They're going to play the Eagles. It looks like the Cowboys are going to be without Andy Dalton. I don't know. Things could change. But if I had to put money on it, they'll probably be without him. But yeah, thoughts on the game?
It's not even worth mentioning. That's a terrible Sunday night
Well,
game. I'll just change
I
it.
have to. It's a Sunday night game, Anthony. Don't
Yeah.
yell at me.
You know, as an Eagles fan and just as a football fan, you look at the game and you're like, okay, I know the Eagles are struggling, but they should probably win the game quite comfortably. But I know the Eagles are going to be down in like the fourth quarter and they're going to win by like a field goal. So
If the Eagles lose this game,
I think the Eagles will win, but it's going to be a lot closer than it should be.
if the Eagles lose this game, just
Wait.
Oh
Let me
my-
guess.
Trade Carson Wentz.
no,
That's what's going to happen,
no,
Anthony, right? It's
no,
all just
because
gonna
in their
go-
division, no, because in their division, everyone's been going like this.
Oh,
But
okay. So there's no
just
chance
if
anything can
the-
go like this.
I like the
Eagles-
Redskins
if-
and Eagles.
Whoa, hold on.
They're
Football
not
team.
the Redskins.
Or
Stop
sorry,
blaming
the Washington
Redskins.
football
So listen,
team.
the football team is the same record as the Cowboys right now. So you're telling me they're going like this?
No, I like the Washington football team.
So what,
I
are they
think
going
have a
like
great
this then?
future. Yeah, but the Eagles, if the Eagles lose this game, it just I'm not saying they're going down. It's an embarrassment. The city of Philadelphia, I know there's not allowed to be full fans, but you're gonna hear the boos everywhere. There's gonna be all this like fire at whoever, like the coaches. Wentz, why aren't you beating this terrible team, this terrible defense? And the Redskins exposed that defense. So if the Redskins didn't do it, the Eagles can too. Just Eagles better win this game. That's all I'm saying. It'll be a big heartbreak to the city of Philadelphia if they lose this game.
I think they should have this game. I'm not going to say in the bag because I always seem to jinx the Eagles, but they should, I would say, comfortably win this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see what happens if what Dan said comes true. They're down 10 going into the fourth quarter, and Wentz has got to lead another drive to win the game. Because they shouldn't have beat the Giants by 1 point, but that's what happened. So I wouldn't expect a high-scoring affair. I wouldn't expect. I'd probably take the under for this game, in all honesty, which is 43. So I might take that just to be safe because I don't expect a whole lot of offense. The way the Eagles' offense has been playing, the way the Cowboys only put up 3 points against the football team. Yeah, I would take the Eagles. Favored by 8. I'd probably wouldn't take that though. Monday night game. Anthony's boyfriend Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. They're going to play the Giants at MetLife. What are we thinking here, Anthony? You want to go first? Because the Buccaneers season seems to be going like this now.
Yeah, the Buccaneers are the best team in the NFL. They'll make it to the Super Bowl.
That's my cue to leave, folks. I'll see you in episode 7.
Hop off.
No, the Buccaneers are the best team in football.
Why would you
If we
say
had to
that?
if you have to do a power rankings, Buccaneers are best team.
Why would you say that?
They're the best team. Look what they did the
Why?
past.
What makes them the best
Pa-
team?
The Packers.
They
were
don't have the
supposed
best
to be-
passing offense. They don't have the best rushing offense. Their defense is solid, but it's not better than the Bears, who are apparently going like that.
Everyone else is going like this too, apparently, but only the Buccaneers are going like that.
So, I mean,
No.
sure, the combination is. I'm not saying they're a bad team. They're a very good team, but
Brady
to
will be
say
out of
they're
that
best
game by the
team,
third quarter.
I hope that's not an omen for something else happening.
Yeah, you
but,
better be careful, man.
No.
Listen, I don't know what makes you think the Buccaneers are the best team in the NFL right now, but
They are.
you need to stop thinking that way.
They are the best
Because
team in the NFL.
listen, I think the Steelers, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Titans, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, Dan, back me up, maybe the Rams. The football team, Anthony. I think they want to have a discussion with you. I don't. On the other podcast, you made the jab at the Bengals GM, but I'm starting to think you don't know anything about football now.
Don't ever insult me like that. The Buccaneers are the best team in football.
So when they lose
We'll
this game,
see.
what's going to happen?
If they lose this game, it's like the Eagles losing to the Cowboys. Embarrassing.
Oh, their season's going to start
Antonio
going like
Brown.
this.
No,
They're going to be without
just-
Chris Godwin. Could be a big factor.
Okay.
Could be.
Scotty Miller. Mike Evans. Brown's
Mike
not
Evans
playing.
has been having not a Mike
Gronk.
Evans season.
Gronk is back, baby. It's great
He
to
has
see
2
that
good games,
duo.
and Gronk is back. Yep.
That's just how it be.
What are your predictions? Stop badgering me.
Look, they're gonna win, but let's calm down a bit. Very, very bold claim. Who even is the best team in the division? When the Saints get Michael Thomas back, their offense is definitely going to roll a bit more than it has been. So you can't, they're a very good team. They're probably going to make the playoffs, but we can't. There are, like Bob said, at least 4 or 5 teams in the AFC that are better than them. So you need to, kind of take a step back and look at things in perspective.
You got
They're
too
going to win
much
this
dip
game.
on your chip.
Definitely too much dip on the chip.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. The Buccaneers are probably going to win this game, probably by 40. But yeah, they're not the best team in the NFL, Anthony. I don't think you're going to convince me and Dan otherwise, or anyone else for that matter, besides people who live in Tampa Bay or are diehard Brady fans like you are. So
They're the best team.
I think 2 of the best teams end up playing each other when the Steelers play the Ravens at 1:00,
Yes.
which probably should be the Sunday night game, in all honesty, but it's not. How do you guys see this game going down?
Steelers. I like the Steelers in this. Just
Anthony, if the Steelers lose this game, could their season be going like this?
no, and stop making jokes.
I'm not gonna.
The Steelers I just love that defense. I think they're going to shut Lamar down. Lamar against the Chiefs, and there's big games, there's big moments. He's not there yet. So I have the Steelers winning this.
I'm gonna have to disagree. The Steelers have had a really good season, and so have the Ravens. I feel like, I don't know, just because they lost pretty deservedly to Kansas City earlier in the season, and I don't know, it just seems like they're not spoke about in the Spain, like they're not very good anymore. Because we got to remember, this is the Ravens in the regular season. We're not talking about the postseason yet. So they were the best regular season team last year, and this is a division game. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be close, and I think that Lamar will have a vintage Lamar game from last year. I think he'll be performing very well. The Steelers are a very good team. They have been performing well. There's reason they're 6-0, but they narrowly escaped defeat last week against Tennessee off the leg of Steven Gostkowski. He went slightly right, and he could have put the game in the overtime. So I just think that the Ravens will come out with this one. Their defense is also very good. I know the Steelers' defense is very good, but the Ravens as well. They just got Yannick Ngakoue. I don't know if he'll be playing. I don't know how the COVID and quarantine.
I think he'll be safe to play. I think because the Ravens had a bye week, he had enough days to get his. I think there's a 5-day period or something where you can't be with the team. I think when Le'Veon signed with the Chiefs, I think there was a certain period of time where you couldn't be at practice or be around the team. Make sure he was clear, but I think Yannick should be cleared to play.
Yeah, so coupled with that, I think they'll be well rested after the bye week. They'll be hungry, and I think the Ravens will get this one done.
Dan, me and you, we were clicking on last week's edition where we predicted games, but I'm gonna have to side with Anthony on this one. I think the Steelers get the job done. I picked them in my parlay +4, so that's why I'm hoping mostly. But yeah, Steelers get the job done. Like you said, both offenses have been very good this far. Chase Claypool, maybe he gets another jet sweep touchdown this week. Who knows? James Conner, he's been doing pretty well, and he's staying healthy, which is the most important thing. And I think the good thing about Chase Claypool and now Deontay Johnson starting to become more reliable receivers, it's taken double teams away from Juju Smith-Schuster, which now opens him up for more options. So I think that puts a big smile on Roethlisberger's face. So I would take the Steelers to win this game. I think, Dan, you said it's going to be a really close game. It's just one of those divisional games where it's going to be close. Probably a back and forth game. Take the over for this game. I expect a lot of offense. Yeah, let's continue with games.
Well, sorry, really
Go
quick.
ahead. Go ahead.
I guess so. You guys picked the Steelers to win this game, which is very, it's very valid to pick that. So they win this game. They're 7-0. So where on the schedule do you see a loss?
I'd have to pull up the Steelers schedule real quick.
I would say probably the next time they play the Ravens.
Well,
that one will be in Pittsburgh.
that'll
right?
be in Pittsburgh. Yes.
So you
Okay,
think they have a
so
better chance to lose in Pittsburgh?
here's their
than
remaining
in
schedule.
Baltimore?
They're going to play at Baltimore this Sunday, November 1st. Next week, they'll play at Dallas. On November 15th, they'll play at home against Cincinnati. On November 22nd, they'll hit the road and play Jacksonville. And then the next time they'll play Baltimore is November 26th. That's a Thursday night game. That'll be in Pittsburgh. And then on December 6th, they'll play the football team at home. And then December 13th, they'll travel to Buffalo to play the Bills. December 21st, they'll play the Bengals again. That'll be at Cincinnati on December 27th. That Cincinnati game is a Monday night game. And on December 27th, they'll play the Colts at home. And then January 3rd, they'll head to Cleveland to play in the dog pound against the Browns. So to Dan's point, if they beat the Ravens, I think Anthony makes a good point where they could lose to the Ravens for, when they play a second time. But if not, that Buffalo game could be that's a Sunday night game. So that could potentially be a game to look at. Anthony's shaking his head over there. This guy also thinks the Buccaneers are the best team in football. Yeah, the Bills are going this way. But apparently the football team's going this way. So I don't really know. But I think if they were to lose, Dan, I'm not, set in stone that they're going to beat the Ravens this week. They could lose this game. But I think they win, and then they could lose to the Ravens for a second time. I don't think they won't lose to Dallas. I don't think they'll lose to Cincinnati. They shouldn't lose to Jacksonville. And then they'll play Baltimore again. They won't lose to the football team. I think Buffalo would be the only other team on the schedule that would possibly pose threat to them.
So do you think they'll finish like 14-2 or
They
like
totally
15-1?
I think they could finish. I think probably 13-3 because they'll play Cleveland that week 17. With the number 1 seed probably already clinched. So similar. We've seen teams in the past rest their starters for week 17.
Mm-hmm.
So expect I don't know. Is Duck Hodges still on the team, or did they get rid of him? Maybe he'll go in for
Rudolph's
week 17. Rudolph. We'll see. We'll see a lot of Benny Snell that game. If they if they have the 1 seed clinch by that point, which I imagine they probably will, at the pace they're going at. But that's
All
my
right.
take. I mean, if you guys want
Okay,
to
I just wanted to get your opinion because, they've obviously played well, but if they win this game and then they're
I don't
7-0,
think they'll
it's
finish.
where do you see them
Something's
losing?
gonna go wrong down the line. They probably won't finish 16-0. For all we know, they could lose one of those games to the Bengals because the Bengals have been playing pretty good. It's just
that's what I was going to say.
luck
The
of the draw.
Bengals is a potential.
But anything's possible.
All right. Yeah, we can move on now. I was just, just kind of curious if you think they're winning this week, how the rest of the season is going to play out.
All right. Other games, we've got the Saints are going to play the Bears at 4:25 on Sunday. That game's going to be in Chicago. What do we got on that game?
Saints.
Right
Just
to the point.
like that.
The Saints just, that the offense, the Saints have one of the best pass rushes. Cameron Jordan, just that pass rush. You saw in the Bucs game when the Saints versed the Bucs, just the quarterback Brady couldn't breathe. And I think the same for Nick Foles. They won't be able to breathe. They won't be able to produce offense. So I have the Saints winning that.
Yeah, I think it'll be close because the Bears always keep it ugly. I mean, their defense is still very top tier. It's just if Allen Robinson is not going to play, which he probably won't. You said he was in concussion protocol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably not going to play. It is also, we don't know if Michael Thomas is going to play. He didn't practice today on Wednesday, the 28th, when we're recording this. So he has 2 more practices before to see if he'll be healthy or not. So I guess we have to wait and see about that.
There is the possibility that he punches another teammate before the game.
Yeah, he could do that. Malcolm Jenkins can call him Slant Boy, and then he could throw a fit. But the Bears, I think if they were to win this game, it would be ugly, and they would need a good performance from David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen, just as a collective. Like, not one of them has to go off or anything. And a guy maybe like, I think his name is Darnell Mooney, to kind of step up, or like Anthony Miller, just any of the wide receivers to kind of step up in Allen Robinson's absence. So I don't think it'll be the prettiest of games, but I mean, it's the Bears, so you shouldn't really expect that.
Yeah, I think if the Bears win this game, the score is going to be like 12-10. Like, nothing exciting is going to come out of it. I think the Saints, they should win this game. I know Drew Brees, he hasn't been having the best of the season so far, but, he's doing all right. But I think, the weapons he's got, obviously Kamara is one of the most versatile running backs in the game right now. So I would, I'm going to do what Anthony said. I'm going to look right into the camera and just say Saints, and that's it. Other games, Seahawks, they play the 49ers. They lost their first game of the year against the Cardinals just the other night on Sunday Night Football. And the 49ers, they're looking to bounce back. They're getting better. They beat up the Patriots pretty badly the other day. And this is a game the 49ers probably really need in a division that's this close right now, with the three teams ahead of them all being Cardinals and Rams both at 5-2, and the Seahawks at 5-1.
Yeah, I think this should be a good one. Like you said, the Niners definitely need this win if they don't want to, straggle behind all the other very good teams in the division. And then the Seahawks will definitely be wanting to bounce back after a hard-fought loss against the Cardinals. So I believe that the Niners, their man who performed last week, Jeff Wilson, right?
He's out.
He will not be playing. So I think Jerick McKinnon will play, and I think his last name is Hurst, the other running back. That will be playing. So I guess we'll have to see, because the 49ers are very predicated around the run. Maybe George Kittle can have a good game. Ever since he kind of boomed against the Eagles, he's had solid games, but nothing super out of the ordinary for George Kittle. But I think I'm going to take Seattle on this one. I think that that they scored 34 points and they lost, which kind of, if you're Russell Wilson in the offense, you're like, come on, guys, really? So I think that the offense will score well again. Tyler Lockett won't have 53 fantasy points, but they'll still play good as a collective. Maybe DK Metcalf can get some down, but
I would
we'll
like
see.
that after like 2 catches the other night. Not his normal stats.
Mm-mm.
I would pick the Seahawks. Also, I just think the Seahawks, the offense is so explosive, and they just lost. They're going to be coming back. They know that, especially in this division, the NFC West, I don't think they want to try to get in that wild card spot. I think you want to fight for that first seed, because the wild card, anything can happen in the end of
Extra
the season.
games. Yep. You don't want that.
Yeah, so I have the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'll go Seahawks too. I think they're definitely going to bounce back. And I'm just not sure if that 49ers defense is going to be able to hold the Seahawks offense. I mean, they had obviously they had a good game against the Patriots, but their offense has been struggling a lot. So I think I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. It's pretty interesting because this game is going to be in Seattle, and the Seahawks are undefeated at home, and the 49ers are undefeated on the road. So someone is going to go. I guess let's touch upon the other games. We have to go fully in depth. Patriots play the Bills at 1:00. Make quick predictions.
Bill should take it. I feel like they've had a rough 3-week patch. They lost to the Chiefs and the Titans, and then they won last week against the Jets, but it was very ugly win. And Mafia definitely not happy about that win, but I think they'll bounce back against the struggling Patriots.
I'll take the Patriots. I'm not going to get in depth. Like you said, I'm just going to take the Patriots.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go Bills. Just cause. Titans play the Bengals in Cincinnati.
I would like to go with Cincinnati, but I'm gonna have to go to Titans. I think they're gonna bounce back after a hard loss last week and just continue to roll. Derrick Henry is gonna run all over that defense.
I'll love to say the Bengals, and I almost want to, but I got to pick the Titans here. I just, I think it's going to be a close game and not a blowout, but Titans.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I want to take the Bengals. I think everyone has somehow just become a Bengals fan over the course of this year, just off of Joe Burrow's performances alone.
Mhm.
So, but I'm going to take the Titans. Don't worry, Bengals fans. You've got a very bright future. Raiders Browns in Ohio, Cleveland.
Raiders.
I'm taking Cleveland.
I'm taking the Raiders. All right, interesting.
Mm.
Colts Lions in Detroit.
Lions. It's their time. They're coming back. Stafford, he's ready.
I don't really know, but just because how confident you're in saying that, I'm going to take the Colts. Just purely that.
Out
It
of
may be
spite.
petty, but purely. I mean, the Colts still have. They've had the best defense, or one of the best defenses so far. So I don't think that like they'll be able to establish a run with Adrian Peterson and DeAndre Swift. So
Yeah.
they'll have to really rely on Kenny Galladay making insane catches, which he's very capable of. But 2 weeks in a row, who knows?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Colts as well. I think their defense is going to be too much for the Lions. Probably end up being a close game, probably like 24-21, something in that range. But I'm going to take the Colts.
Blankenship with a nice field goal for the win.
Yeah, definitely. Those goggles, man. It's just they give them an edge that no one else has. Vikings play the Packers in Lambeau.
Packers.
It's the Packers. I'm debating if I should even say this game. The Chiefs are going to play the Jets in Kansas City.
Chiefs plus 30.
Chiefs. Le'Veon Bell is gonna run for like 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well.
That'll be fun.
Jets. Let's take a quick look at the Jets schedule and see if they're ever going to get a win this season. Why don't we? Just for the kicks. So obviously they play the Chiefs this week, and I don't think anyone imagines they'll be beating them. Their next game, they play the Patriots on Monday Night Football next week. I'm going to say they're not going to beat the Patriots.
I
They
don't
could,
know.
but I don't think it'll happen.
If they win a game this year, it's going to be against one of their division rivals. It's either going to be the Patriots or the Dolphins or the Bills. Well, they already played the Bills twice, so it can't be the Bills. But
It's true. They have played
it's
the
got to
Bills
be the.
twice.
They did or it didn't?
They have. Yeah, they played them last week, and they played
I
them week
thought
one as
so.
well.
Yeah, so it's either got to be New England or Miami, and unless is there anyone else I'm missing in there?
Well, they'll take a
could-
bye week 10, and then they'll come back November 22nd at the Chargers. And then they'll play at home against the Dolphins on November 29th. They'll play at home against the Raiders on December 6th. They'll head to Seattle to play the Seahawks on December 13th. They'll stay on the West Coast on December 20th and play the Rams. They'll head home and play the Browns on December 27th. And then they'll head to New England for the season finale on January 3rd.
Yeah, for me, it's got to be either of those Patriots games or that Dolphins game. I know Anthony's about to say that they're going to beat the Browns, but they're not.
I'll say it's one of those 3 teams. Dolphins, Pats, Browns.
Maybe the Chargers too.
No, not the Chargers. No way.
Chargers have been streaky. We don't know.
No.
Let's move on. Tua Tagovailoa makes his NFL debut as the Dolphins take on the Rams.
Sorry. You can go.
I'm picking the Dolphins. That's my prediction of the week. I was bold last week. I got it wrong, but you know what? I don't care. I'm going bold this week. It's Tua time. Get ready down in Miami. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I can't. I like this Miami team, but they're playing really well. We touched on it, the Ryan Fitzpatrick situation to attack Tagovailoa, but they're playing very well, and they take him out. So I bet a few of the guys won't be too happy about that. Devontae Parker's like, oh, I've been playing very well, and then you're taking my quarterback out. But they're throwing a rookie quarterback in his first ever game against Aaron Donald. Against a very shaky offensive line. They play better, but they're still, it's not, they don't have the Colts offensive line or anything like that. But I mean, Aaron Donald already has 8 sacks this year, I believe. Only one off. I think Myles Garrett's leading the league with 9. But we know how good Aaron Donald is. He's probably the best player in the entirety of the National Football League. So I feel like, and seeing how well their defensive unit as a whole played against Chicago, I just can't see the Dolphins winning this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Rams too. I think it is 2 a time, just not on Aaron Donald's watch.
He is a few times behind. I
Yeah.
guess.
And the last game, Chargers Broncos at Denver.
The Chargers. I love the Broncos, and before the season, I'm saying Drew Lock's MVP candidate. He got hurt. The Broncos aren't the team that I believe they can be. Like Von Miller, when the Broncos are at full health, everyone's there. I think the Broncos are going to be a great team. But I love Herbert. I think he's the best rookie QB, even though Burrow's doing amazing. Just Herbert and the Chargers, their defense is already great. And I'm picking the Chargers. I'm a huge fan of Herbert. I liked him, during the draft. I thought he was like the best quarterback when I watched the combine, but Chargers.
Yeah, I'll probably have to give it to Chargers too. Denver, they're just, they're just not. They're banged up. They're just not looking too good. I mean, Drew Lock and Jerry Jeudy could have like a really good game, but I don't see it.
I'm gonna take the Broncos. I'm not gonna explain myself, but I am. Broncos. It's Drew Lock time, baby. Anthony thinks it's 2 a time. It's Drew Lock time. Yeah. So that's NFL Week 8. That's all the games. All of our predictions are in. I think we've hit all of them. Yep. All right. So as I've mentioned, Halloween is this weekend, October 31st, as it always is. So for this installment of the podcast, I had the guys prepare for a special Halloween segment in which we chose who we believed was the scariest athlete of all time, as in you saw this guy on the other side of the field or the other side of the court, or you were a fan of and you were going up against him that week, and you just were instantly struck with fear. So guys, why don't you go ahead and tell me who the scariest athlete, past or present, is or was?
I guess I'll go first. This may be a bit biased, but I'm sure if you asked players who played against him, they probably wouldn't. I am going Brian Dawkins, Weapon X, former safety of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Broncos for a season or 2. But yeah, I mean, just your classic hard-hitting safety, the same era with, Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu. He could hit, man. He could hit. He was such a good ball hawk, and he knew the game very well, and he was so good positionally that you did not want to run across the middle of the field if you're a wide receiver or a tight end. And he just watched him growing up. He was a guy that I was so happy to have on my own team, because if I were playing against him, I would not have liked it. So he is. There are a lot of great guys to pick for this one. Like I said, maybe a bit biased, but for me, it has to be Brian Dawkins.
May could go to basketball. The GOAT, the greatest of all time, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He was the most feared assassin on the earth when he was playing. If you said something to him or gave him a little shove, he remembered. He'll come back.
He took that personal.
He exactly. Even in
You haven't seen
practice.
The Last Dance?
Even in practice, just rookies like would come thinking, oh, they're all big, and then he'll be like, okay, put me 1-on-1. And then, this quote, you reach, I teach. Like,
LeVar would have
and
beat
he
him
just,
though in his prime,
1-on-1, never lost.
undefeated.
just Michael Jordan, the greatest all time. He's the most fierce. If I saw him, I would probably be scared just to go up to him, like, because of how great he is. He has so many memorable moments. He is if he had the ball in his hands and, you said something to him before or said something about like family or just annoyed him, you will be going down in history as a famous Michael Jordan moment, like the flu game, something. He'll expose you just like that, just like how he did to the Cavs, beating them in the 89-90 playoffs. Just, he'll expose you. He's the scariest player, most feared ever.
Okay, good picks, guys. My pick was gonna be Mike Tyson. I feel like I don't really have to explain that one. I feel if you've ever seen Mike Tyson highlights, that guy rearranged people's faces.
Bit
But
a person's ear off.
yeah, he did do that. But I went with Anderson Silva, one of the most dominant fighters that ever stepped foot in a UFC octagon. He currently holds the longest winning streak of all time at 16 wins. And if you look at every single record that there is to be held in the UFC, his name is within the top 5 of almost every single record. It's insane. You look at finishes, title defenses, stoppages in title fights, knockouts. He's there. His name is everywhere. It's plastered all over the UFC. And it's unfortunate he doesn't really get mentioned in GOAT conversation anymore because he did get popped for, PEDs and all that. But, I'm not going to defend it, but it was pre-USADA. So it wasn't as big of a deal as it would be now. But if I'm being honest here, he's over John Jones in my opinion. He is not over GSP. I still think GSP is the greatest of all time, but Anderson Silva is most definitely in that conversation for me. And you look at his record and he kind of tarnished it recently. He's got like 1 win in his last like 7 or 8 fights. So that's no good, but he's doing what he loves to do. And I picked him because he's going to do it for one last time this weekend. He's said this is going to be his last fight in the UFC. I would take that with a grain of salt, though. I feel like he said that a million times. But he's going to fight Uriah Hall on Saturday night. In like I said, the last fight of his career. And I guess if you guys got any takes on this, you can go really quickly.
I would certainly, if it is his last fight, I would certainly hope to see him win. Like you said, he hasn't had much success lately, and Uriah Hall's and slouch or pushover, anything like that. But I really hope he wins, cap off a great career, one of the best to ever do it in the UFC. So it'd be really good to see that. And Uvamoe, right? That's how you pronounce it.
Uvamoe, you're gonna die.
I agree. I just hope he wins. Any person when it's their last thing in their like greatness, like Khabib, like they had such a great career. You hope they end it off with a win. So best of luck.
I agree. It's an interesting matchup. Uriah Hall was supposed to fight Yoel Romero, I believe, at the beginning of August, and Romero pulled out of that fight. So Uriah Hall took his time, found another fight. He got Anderson Silva. And Uriah Hall is still trying to make his case for eventual title shot in the middleweight division. And I'm not saying Anderson Silva is the guy he's going to do it against, but it's an impressive win if he's able to beat Anderson Silva. But I got to go with Dan. I want to see Anderson Silva win this fight just to cap off, an incredible career. My earliest memories of watching the UFC are of him. Unfortunately, it was his Weidman loss where he snapped his leg. But it's Anderson Silva. I've over the years I've just learned so much about the guy, and I've watched majority of his fights, and the way he fought and the way he does fight, it's incredible. And I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to copy it. The way his confidence, his moxie. I look at the Chael Sonnen fight, his first fight against Chael Sonnen, where he was getting dominated in that fight, and then he got a tap at the end of the fight, and everyone's like, oh, he got so lucky. Chael Sonnen should have won the fight, and then they ran it back, and it looked like he lost the first round, but then he came back and just dominated Sonnen and won the fight. So hoping Silva gets the win, just to cap off an incredible career for the Spider, Anderson the Spider Silva. Nothing but love and respect for the guy. And yeah. I want to talk about the co-main event really quickly too, because one of my favorite fighters who not everyone knows about, Bryce Mitchell, he's going to make his return. He's going to fight Andre Feely in the UFC's featherweight division. Guys, if you've got any opinions, you can go on this really quick.
I don't really know too much about these two fighters, but if Mitchell's one of your favorites, it's probably for a reason. So I'll take Mitchell in the fight.
I'll take Mitchell. I agree.
Yeah, Bryce Mitchell's last time out, nothing short of incredible. The guy, he can do it all. His stand-up is great. He's got tremendous ground game. It's insane. And it's good enough. He's going to earn my prediction for this weekend. I think Bryce Mitchell wins this fight via twister submission. I think there's only been 2 in the UFC, and he holds one of them. I can't remember who the other one is off the top of my head, but I think he's going to do it again. He attempted it like 4 times in his last fight, and he almost got it, but the round stopped. But I think he's going to get a twister win. And it should just be a fun fight to watch. He's finally got his camo shorts. He's been calling for them for his past 5 or 6 fights, and he's finally got them. So he's going to debut his camo shorts on Saturday. And Andre Feely's no pushover either, so it's going to be a fun fight to watch. But yeah, I'm going to take Mitchell to win, and he's going to move up in the featherweight rankings and continue to improve and look to grow. All right, so I just made my prediction of the week. Anthony made his earlier. Dan, did you get yours off when you talked about soccer, or did you want to do it now?
I did not. I was about to, say I should say that right before. So, it's definitely, this one's definitely bold, probably a bit foolish of me, but I think that West Ham they're playing Liverpool this week at Anfield, and I think that they will at least secure a point, but I don't want to say they'll get a point. I'm going to say they're going to win at Anfield. Liverpool have looked so as of late, and with all the injuries they've been experiencing at center back right now, the only senior team healthy center back is Joe Gomez. So that is quite alarming. So they're gonna have to call someone up from like the U21 squad. Yeah, so with an injury to Fabinho this week, they're gonna have to call someone up for center back because their only healthy one right now is Joe Gomez, so they'll have to figure that out. And West Ham, in their last 4 games, so a draw against City, a draw against Tottenham, a win against Leicester, and a win against Wolves. I mean, those are some very good results for West Ham, I gotta say. So with a beat up Liverpool squad and just a string of very good results for West Ham against very tough opponents, I think they'll get like a 2-1 victory off Mikel Antonio brace. So definitely very bold, but I feel like it is a bit warranted maybe. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that's my prediction for the weekend.
Okay, so there's all the predictions. As Dan just said, he thinks West Ham is going to defeat Liverpool. Anthony's prediction was that the Dolphins are going to beat the Rams, and my prediction was that Bryce Mitchell is going to win his fight against Andre Feely by twister submission. So those are all the predictions. Really quickly, I want to touch upon, there's some news that came out in the NBA today. Daryl Morey, the former GM of the Houston Rockets, he's going to join the 76ers as the president of basketball operations. Elton Brand is going to stay around as the GM. But that's a good move for the Sixers. They also made some other moves. I believe they added Sam Cassell to Doc Rivers' coaching staff. So that's going to be good for them. And then the Rockets, they finally got their coach. They hired Mavericks assistant Steven Silas. Am I saying that right? Silas. Yep. Anthony, did you want to give anything on that real quick? On those basketball moves?
Daryl Morey, great for the Sixers, especially how he said they I don't know if it's 100% yet, but Castle added to the coaching staff. Great for point guard leader. He knows a lot about the game. And Morey, he's going to make his own process, as we call it in Philly. he's not afraid to make a big trade. We know that. Just you've seen the Rockets that get Russ, get rid of Chris Paul. So Sixers fan, just be ready for some big moves.
One question regarding him. Was this the guy that traded every center on the roster though?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But
okay.
But Steve, and then for the Rockets' new coach, Steven Silas, Mavericks assistant coach, and I think it'll help James Harden a lot because as you see in the Mavericks, they let Luka create his offense, make his own thing, and I think that's what Harden wants, and that's what he does already. He wants the ball in his hands. He wants to create the offense, and then he'll score those triple-double or those 40-point games. And the only thing, Russ is there too, and I think if he wants Harden to create the offense, Russ would have to be like a little lean back and not have the ball. They can both create their offense, but when they're both on the court, it's kind of I don't think it'll gel as well. So, that could be a potential thing that you see is Russ and Harden being like split timing. Sometimes like Russ will be on the court without Harden, and Harden will be on the court without Russ. So they have their own offense and they can create it and be the power horse of that five on the floor. But two great moves, especially for the Sixers. The Sixers are gonna have a new and better process. I know he traded all the centers, and that's the thing Dan's scared of. Oh no, Joel Embiid's gonna leave.
It's just
But
I meant
Ben
as in a
Simmons.
questionable. It was a very questionable thing to do.
You have Ben
And it's
Simmons.
not like the Rockets have won
who's
anything.
He's not a big man. He's big man, but he's not like Embiid size, but he's very tall. So don't be scared, Dan. If Embiid goes, he goes. Bye-bye.
He's not. No. Okay. Just let's move on because that was.
Yeah, let's move on. College football. All the fun games. I say that there's only really one fun game this weekend, which we'll touch upon. But let's get through the other games. We'll mention them real quick. Clemson's going to play Boston College. Clemson obviously favored huge. I'm guessing we're all going to predict Clemson for that game. Number 5 ranked Georgia. They're going to play Kentucky. That's on the road. Anyone see an upset there?
No.
Okay.
No.
Happy we're all on the same page. Number 7 Cincinnati. They play Memphis at home. Upset anyone?
You know what?
No.
Yeah. Let's take it.
Dan's going big.
Memphis
I like it.
is,
I like it, Dan.
There's a few good guys. Antonio Gibson, Darrell Henderson, Tony Pollard. Maybe whoever the running back is now, just pop off.
Yeah.
Rodriguez Clark is their running back, who has 1 rushing touchdown in 4 games played.
Maybe not, but we'll see.
I'll take Cincinnati.
Hey, this is his breakout game.
I'm going to go with Dan. Memphis. Why not? Let's get some mayhem in college football. Michigan State. I don't even know what to do with them. They just lost to Rutgers last week. They're going to play 13-ranked Michigan. That one's going to be in Ann Arbor. Michigan is the home team. Anyone see an upset?
No, Michigan looked
It
great
would
their first
be
week.
hilarious.
They'd be pretty funny.
But
I'm not going to lie.
It would. I'm not a Spartans fan or a Wolverines fan, but I feel like it would be funny to see Michigan State beat Michigan. Just my opinion.
16th ranked Kansas State. They're going to travel to West Virginia and play West Virginia. Any upsets
Kansas
there?
State.
Kansas State.
Take Kansas State as well.
Number 20 ranked Coastal Carolina. They're going to travel to Atlanta and play Georgia State. Anyone taking an upset there?
Coastal Carolina is ranked 20.
They are 5-0, 3-0 in the Sun Belt.
Wow.
I'll take Coastal. I visited that school and that stadium, and the facilities they have just for the football team are like unbelievable.
Okay.
Take Coastal. Why not?
Sure, I'll go Coastal as well. Number 23 ranked Iowa State. They're going to play winless Kansas in Kansas. Anyone see Kansas getting a win this week?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, it just isn't going to happen. It's just not your year, Kansas. I'm sorry.
Wait
Fourth
till
ranked
basketball season.
Sure. 4th ranked Notre Dame, they're going to play Georgia Tech. They're going to go to Atlanta and play that game. Anyone see Notre Dame falling off?
No, not yet. Just wait a week.
Nope. No, you're just waiting for them. I don't see it until they play Clemson.
Here's an interesting game. I kind of like this one as a Big Ten fan. 17 ranked Indiana is going to play Rutgers. Anyone
I'll
got
take
anything on that game?
Indiana.
You know what? Rutgers looked pretty good last week.
Nancy's Rutgers going 2-0.
I'll take Rutgers.
That one's going to be in Piscataway. You think they'll let me in, Dan? New Jersey?
Because it's in New Jersey, probably not. But
Sweet.
you know,
I didn't want to go anyway.
We'll see.
I'll go Indiana. If they were good enough to beat Penn State, you got to be good enough to beat Rutgers. Number 6th ranked Oklahoma State. They're going to play Texas. It's going to be a home game from Oklahoma State. Anyone see an upset?
I'll take Texas.
Take Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys? I'm going to take them as well. Number 25th ranked Boise State. They're going to play Air Force.
Ooh.
Gotta take Boise State.
Yeah.
They're not playing on it this week, but I love that blue turf.
Yeah.
2nd ranked Alabama. They play Mississippi State.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Insert SpongeBob
Yeah,
meme.
Bama's gonna win.
Number 8 ranked Texas A&M. They play Arkansas.
A&M's been impressing me. They're not disappointing like they usually are. So I'll take A&M.
Texas. I agree.
Number 10 ranked Florida. They play Missouri. I guess this game hasn't been canceled. I could have swore I heard something about COVID from Florida again.
I'll take the Gators.
Take the Gators. Why not?
I will as well. Number 22 ranked SMU. They play Navy.
Take SMU.
I gotta take the Navy. I love the Navy.
Okay, I'll take SMU as well. 15th ranked North Carolina. They're going to play Virginia in Virginia.
North Carolina.
Yeah, I'll take NC. They looked pretty good.
I will as well. 24 ranked back in the rankings. Oklahoma. They're going to travel to Texas Tech.
I'll take Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'll take Oklahoma.
Spencer Rattler.
I'm going to take Texas Tech. Whoever their quarterback is going to channel that Patrick Mahomes energy and just start slinging it.
Right.
Number 11 ranked BYU are going to play Western Kentucky.
It's crazy that BYU's ranked 11, but I'll take them in this game. Why not? Just keep going.
It's good enough, Dan. It's good enough. Anthony?
BYU.
Tickets only $32. You guys trying to go to Utah?
Ooh, why not?
I'm busy this weekend. It's Halloween.
Oh, right. Because you got friends. 2 games have been canceled / postponed. 19 ranked Marshall, Florida International. That game has been postponed. Number 9 ranked Wisconsin against Nebraska. That game has been canceled. It'll be ruled as a no contest on the official, records. That's what the Big Ten's going with. The game's not played due to COVID-related issues. It'll be ruled a no contest. And, of course, the game everyone is looking at on the schedule this week, the big Halloween showdown between number 3 ranked Ohio State against number 18 ranked Penn State in Happy Valley. I'll let you guys go first since I'm the Penn State student here.
I think it would be really, really cool if Penn State could win. All of our friends at Happy Valley would be ecstatic, but I can't see Ohio State losing this one just based off how well they'll be playing. I just think the quality of players between the two teams definitely leans towards Ohio State. So I think that'll get them this victory.
I'm taking the Ohio State University. They're going to slaughter Penn State.
You think they're going to copyright the word "the" again too?
Maybe not like how they just beat
ever.
one last week. They beat Nebraska 52-17. Not like that. I'll probably say I think they're going to win by a lot, like 2 touchdowns. but Justin Fields' Heisman season is hot. I think he's great. He's trying to prove that he's better than Lawrence. He's always been put second behind him since high school. This is where he's going to show that he's better.
All right, so here's my predicament. If I say Penn State loses this game, I get the brakes beaten off me when I eventually step on campus. So Penn State's winning, all right? And I truly, deeply mean that at all my, fellow Penn State students. They're going to win this game. I mean, let's be fair. All the games that these teams have played within, I want to say, the past 4 years, they've all been pretty close games. They've all been like one score games or, like 9-point games. They've been pretty close recently. So I'm not expecting a blowout like Andy's saying. I think it, hopefully it'll be close for my sake. So I'm not crying on Halloween night. But Penn State's going to win, baby. Mark my words. And we'll be sitting here on the weekend installment and, I'll be, celebrating, laughing at you, Anthony.
If James Franklin and the Nittany Lions make me eat my words, I'll be happy. But
That's what I like to hear.
To build up credibility as a sports analyst, I can't go against Ohio State.
There ain't no credibility. What's the name of the one guy on game day who picks Michigan no matter what? Who is it? Desmond Howard. He picks Michigan every single game. There's no credibility.
Didn't he get it in Michigan?
He did, but come on, you can't just pick them every single game.
Loves his alma mater.
I mean, sure, but come on, dude. Like, you just can't. I'm sorry, but
Michigan up against Clemson this week. I'm taking Michigan.
I gotta go Michigan here. I just think Trevor Lawrence, he's gonna fall off this week. Come on, man, you can't be saying that stuff. I think that covers it all for this episode, guys. Any last thoughts before we take a look at the Sports King board and give a rundown for the remainder of the week on the website?
Happy Halloween, everyone. Stay safe and have fun.
Definitely stay safe. If you're in the Philadelphia area like we are, stay safe. So just have a good time. But like we said, most importantly, stay safe.
As you guys said, hit the nail right on the head. Stay safe. Have fun this weekend. Let's take a look at the board, what you can expect this weekend. As always, follow us on socials, on Twitter at sports__kingdom, on Instagram at sportsking.dom, and then subscribe to the YouTube channel. Listen, a little birdie told me that more than half of the people that watch these podcasts aren't subscribed to the channel. That's got to change, guys. Just hit that subscribe button. All right. Listen, here's the thing. You can unclick it whenever you want. You can unsubscribe at any point. Okay? I can't force you to subscribe to us, but I'm telling you, you should. You totally should. All right? Because why not? It's free.
What if you miss podcast? What if you miss podcast? What are you going to do?
Hit the post notifications, all right, so you know when these podcasts go live. Why wouldn't you want to subscribe? I mean, come on, it's free. Who doesn't love free stuff? Come on. Just hit the button, all right? But yeah, follow us on socials. You know the drill. Obviously, happy Halloween. Thursday night football. Falcons play the Lions, or no, they don't. They play the Panthers. That doesn't exist. Okay, don't worry about that. UFC fight night on Saturday. Anderson Silva is going to first Uriah Hall, and Bryce Mitchell is going to first Andre Feely. And congratulations again to the Dodgers, World Series champions. And then college football. Ohio State, they're going to play Penn State. There's our Haley quotes. She'll give us another one for the next episode. Anthony, he's going to be Haley eventually, probably. Yeah, guys, I think that's it. So, as we said, stay safe on Halloween night. Have fun. Get your costumes ready. I know we all have our costumes. My mask is back there, so I'm not going to go get it.
Get the average Joes.
Dan, he's from Dodgeball. I am from Money Heist, show on Netflix. If you've never seen it, go watch it. Cool show. Netflix sponsor us. Money Heist sponsor us. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it for tonight. So we're going to catch you in the next one. Again, stay safe on Halloween night. Watch some sports. It's going to be a good weekend. And, real quick, website. Tomorrow, my part 2 to my UFC matchmaking article comes out. I talk about what Jan Blachowicz should do next. the women's strawweight division, and I believe the featherweight division too. And then on Friday, teams 25 to 21 and my NHL power rankings comes out. So go check those out. Guys, you got anything coming out this week on the website?
Probably Saturday or Sunday. Mock draft, just a lottery 1.0, just the first 14 teams for this one, and then in the future we'll get the full first round and the full second.
And I might put out a bit of a mid-season award so far for the NFL, because we're at week 8, rookie of the year, MVP, things like that. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, and as always, stay up to date. Follow us everywhere. Check out the website. Go read our articles. Put a lot of work into them. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it. So we're going to sign off. Take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you on the weekend.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Adios.
Thank you.